Hi and welcome back to Brook Valley Life. Today is the second part of the saga of string building. Hi and welcome back to Brook Valley Life. In a quick recap, in part one of building a string, we made the string on the jig, we served both ends and we left it there. In this episode, we're going to be looking at stretching the string and doing the center serving. So I hope you enjoy, and if you've got any comments, please put them below. So we've got my string tensioner. As you can see, it was bodged together by me. We've got a little weight scale there. Place for this to move up and down for different size strings. Yeah, bit of bracing, bit of tube, and a way of connecting the string. Now this string hasn't been twisted yet, still untwisted, and all I'm going to do is screw up the ends. We'll start with this one, try and get it as tight as possible so it pulls up. Going to take a while, so what I'll do is I'll just put you down and I'll come back to you when that end is tight. So now the string's on there, it's loose-ish, and what we do now is we start to tighten it up. So we turn on the scales. We hopefully turn on the scales. Yep, it's in kilograms. We don't want it in kilograms, we want it in pounds. And then we just start tightening up until we get to what we want. And as you can see, it's going up. £100, 200, 300, and what I'm going to go and do is go to about 350-ish and hold it there. There's 360, and you'll notice that the poundage is coming down slowly, and that is all due to the stretch and the strings getting into position. And what we'll do is, once we've done this, we will put the string on the bow, we'll put the rise and the limbs together, we'll put the string on the bow, and then we will twist it up to get the right brace height, and we will cover that in the next video. Once we've done that, we will take it off, we will come back to the string jig with the twists in there, put it on, and then we will stretch it again to 300 pounds. We'll leave it for 24 hours, which is what I'm going to do now, and then go back to the bow, put it on, a couple more twists to get back to the right brace height, and then we can do the center serving. Once we've done the center serving, we can then look at knocking points for the arrows. So we will leave it there for today. We will let this settle out, and we will then come back in 24 hours, take the string off, stick it on the bow, twist it up, and away we go. So hello and welcome back. It's 24 hours since we put the string on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the string and put it onto the bow, or put the riser together, and we will get the brace height right. Once that's done, we'll take the string back off, put it onto the stretching machine, and we'll stretch it again. I'll show you once I get it on the bow. So here we go to check the bow. So the string is on the bow now. Yep, top and bottom on quite nicely. Put a couple of twists in it already, and we're just going to go and check the brace height. Now the brace height, what do we mean? So what we mean by brace height is from the point here on your grip to the string itself. And I usually have mine anywhere between 22 to 24 centimeters, which turns out to be around 9 1/4, I think it is, to 8 3/4 inches. But usually I start off on the high end about 24 and then come down, depends on how the bow sounds and feels. So what we'll do now is just measure, see what we've got. At the moment that is spot on 22. So what I'm going to do is put a couple more twists in it and try and increase that brace height. So I always use a bow stringer. Fits on one end, this end goes over the limb on that, then I just step on that, can't really see this, but I step on it, pulls the limbs, and you can remove the string quite easily like that. I will do another video on how to do that later on, but for now all I want to do is start twisting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all I'm doing is twisting, 8, 9, and I'll do 10 twists for now. Put the string on and measure again. There we go. So by twisting the string, don't know if you can see, it's quite lumpy at the moment, but that's okay because we're going to smooth that out later. But all I'm going to do is check that distance there. So all I do, it doesn't have to be everyone, but I just give it a quick stretch to make sure it's seated properly. Take my bow square, measure again. That's 23.5. So what I want to do now, I put 10 turns in there. I'm going to cheat now. I'll put my bow stringer back on. This time I'm going to remove the string. I'll put 5 twists in it. I'll put it back onto the string jig and we'll stretch it again up to 300 pounds and leave it for another 24 hours. So I'll take this off, put it on the string jig and show you where we are. So the string's back on the string jig, and what we're going to do now, stretch it up again to about 350 pounds because that'll come down. And the other thing we'll do is smooth out the wax that comes out. I use a leather glove, I'll show you what I'm doing, and it will smooth it out and it will stretch it at the same time to get it nice and warm. So let me just show you. There's our little scale. Again, this scale was bought from, I think it was AliExpress again. Let's get the right size spanner. There we go. So we're on 0 at the moment. Wrong way. Let's try going the right way. Here we go. There's no problem with doing this. These strings are designed to take this weight on. The compound bows use even more force than a recurve. This is just stretching them to their so that if there was any stretching them, it should take all that stretch out with the fibers sitting down nicely, getting together. And when you see me smoothing out with my glove, yeah, you'll see the amount of wax that comes out of these strings. Oh. As you can see, that dropped already from 180 to 130, so we'll carry on up. Okay, don't know if you can see that. Let me bring you across and down. Oh, get my hand out of the way. There we go. That's showing 362, hopefully. Looks backwards in the screen, but hey ho. 359, 358, 357, you can see it's dropping. So we'll let that settle out, and what we'll do now is I will go and get my glove and smooth the string out. I'll bring you back once I've got my glove. So this is all I use for smoothing out the strings, getting a bit of warmth into it, which melts the wax, helps it sit a bit better. And all it is just a leather gardening glove picked up cheaply at the local hardware store. As you can see, lots of different colours on there at the moment. That's from all of the strings I've done before. So what I'll do is I'll find a spot that is clear, there's a bit in there, I'll put it on the string and then start rubbing it backwards and forwards. So as you can see, that's all I'm going to do. Go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. It heats up the wax. Whoops. And as it heats up the wax melts. The fibers themselves all sit down together nicely. It makes the string itself nice and round, better for serving on, for your center serving. And this is what I do to do my strings. It doesn't mean it's the right way, doesn't mean it's the wrong way, it's what I do. There are other ways of doing this. So I don't know if you can see on the video, you'd have to get quite close. It's getting, you can see I've got the wax on me. That's because it's melting. And what I usually do is I usually take a small piece of serving, I'll wrap it round and take off most of the excess wax as well. And remember, this is still at 300 odd pounds of tension on there, so it's going to sit all those 18 strands together nicely. So that's it, nice and warm. I'll take my piece of serving, I'll wrap it round here, it's out of frame, sorry. I'll just hold it tight, just draw it along, and as you can see, as we're going along, we're picking up all the excess wax to the end, and we'll take that off. And by excess wax, put that on the end, that is what we're talking about. Just excess wax that was on the string to preserve it, keep it nice and moist. And yes, we will be putting wax on our strings as we use them because they do become dry. But this is just to take off the excess that we've squeezed out. So we want to, I'll just get rid of that. In the bin. Use that. Put that down. And our bow weight now is, let's have a look, down at, sorry, 246 pounds. So all I'm going to do is get my spanner, sorry, let me take you down again. So 246, that's on there, and I'm just going to tighten it up again to take it back up to 300. So that's showing 350 and it's dropping. The noise it makes when you twang it. There you go. So quite a high pitched twang. A lot of pressure on there, however it's nowhere near its breaking point, so it's quite safe. And if I bring that off and show you the string itself, hopefully you can see how well that is now sitting on there. So what we're going to do is leave that for another 24 hours to stretch. Once that's done, we'll put it back on the bow, adjust the brace height again using our T-square. Again, I've had this since I first started archery. It's one of the first things you should get, because you should always check your bow when you shoot it, no matter what. First thing you do, put your bow together, check your brace height, check your crikey, see, I've gone blank there as well. Not just check your brace height, but check your limbs as well, and making sure your limb pockets are in the same position. I'll remember what the wording is for that next time, so we'll talk about that next time when we do it. But yeah, have one of these. These are cheap, about $10, and yeah, lifesaver. So I will see you in the magic of TV in about a second's time, and I'll let this go for 24 hours. Catch you in a minute. So it's in fact 2 days later now. I was busy yesterday with work and didn't get home till late, so did nothing. So today we'll take the string off the stretching machine, put it on the bow, check the brace height again, get it to where I want it, and then we can mark out where we want to put the serving and do the serving. So that's the string on the bow. As you can see, sitting on nicely, both ends. And when you check your bow, don't check from the front, always check from behind. Yeah, make sure it's sitting correctly, because if you check from the front, these are on okay and I'm happy with them, but if I was to go and check them like that and something went wrong, this could come off, smack you in the eye, you lose an eye, smack you in the nose, whatever, you could hurt yourself. So always, when you've put it on, first of all, make sure it's sitting on by checking from the back, so if it does pong forward, it goes away from you. So let's check our brace height. And our brace height is showing 23.4 millimeters, or just over 9¼ I'm going to leave that. I'm happy with that. And the other thing I can check is the tiller. This is what I forgot the name. So what it is the distance from there to there, and also the distance from there to there. Depending on whether you have a positive or negative tiller, yeah, it means where this is sitting. It could be in or out. It just depends on where you put your limb bolts. I tried to get them at the same position. If one is higher than the other, when you draw back the bow, it may want to pull up, it may want to pull down, and you'll have trouble getting it onto the target. So we'll just have a quick look at that. And what you want to do is take it and then go straight across and then read off, and that is 19.2 at the top and 19, hang on, let me just check that, make sure that's right, 19.2 at the bottom. So that's even at the moment. I know a lot of people say it should be positive one way or the other, but I like to always start mine where it's even, so there's zero difference between top and bottom. So that is the string on there. Now we've got to work out where we want to put the serving. And the way I do this is I put the brace height tool, or the square, on, measure it off so it's square across, as you can see, and then I look where my fingers will be and I go either side of that, and what I do then is just serve on that piece. So at the moment, as you can see, that's where it is, that's where the handle is, so that's where my bow hand's going, and I always take it usually from the bottom of here in, and then the top I always take from about where the sight is and come up to there. So between there and there as well will be serving. Also, another quick way of knowing where to serve in the middle, get an old string, line it up with your bow, and then just mark off, yep, where the serving lines up, and that is where you serve your bow. Simple as that. So to serve the bow is exactly what we did with serving the ends. We take our serving. Yep, I'm still using the same stuff because this usually gives me the perfect size for the nocks I'm going to be using for my arrows. If I was using, say, less strings, I may need to go for a smaller nock. And if I was using thinner serving, I may go for a thinner nock as well. I usually use a large nock with 18 strands. So we can take off our square. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Hopefully the lighting's okay. We're going to start here and move this way. Now, people will say there is a certain way this is supposed to wind on. I've never had any issues doing it both ways. So what we do, we start again. So start wrapping round, go over ourselves. This is going to be difficult to see, but we're doing exactly the same. So the tag end is this way. Just take that off, it's right wound up. So as you can see, the tag end's coming here and we're winding over at the moment. And we want to go up a decent way. And this will hopefully be nice and tight. Because you definitely, this is what the arrow goes on, so you don't want it to come loose. So we just tighten that up, give it a bit of a tighten. I will keep coming up a little bit. Give myself 2 to 3 centimeters. So I've given myself 2 to 3 centimeters. So I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, 2 to 3 centimeters there. Try and get that square so you can see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my tag end now back this way and carry on. Oop, a bit of a jiggle there. And sorry about my top. It's not that I'm trying to not show what it is. It's just that I've had this for ages. It's getting a bit cool and it goes through the wash a few times and yeah, comes off. So yeah, sorry about the top. This is my working top. I don't like getting all my good stuff dirty while working, and this can get dirty with the wax coming off the string. So what we're going to do now is just carry on up to, I'm just trying to see where it was, to this point here, as you can see. So what I'll do is I'll carry on up towards the end and then bring you back when I'm near the end. Okay, I brought you back, and as you can see, I'm right near the end now. The black line's just there. Yep. So we're going to do exactly the same thing as we did at both ends. We're going to loosen our serving tool. Give ourselves plenty to play with. Get our sharp knife. Cut the serving off. Done with the tool. And then making sure that's nice and tight, because we're coming from underneath, remember. So you make a loop, go over the top, come back inside, and just go around a number of times inside that loop. This is the bit you're going to need to practice. That's what I've found anyway. I'm taking it through a good number of times so this stays in position and won't come undone once we're done. So I've taken that through, not sure, didn't count, a number of times anyway. So bring our tag loop across to where we were serving, and we want to catch that in position. That's caught in position, and now as we unwind this, it comes on this side. I usually do this on my lap so it doesn't move about, and you can rest the limbs on your knees and have the riser in the middle. But this is working okay. In fact, all I'm doing is I'm using my button, which is magnetic, sticking it against the string jig. So here we go. As you can see, this is going around quite nicely. Hopefully you can see. Yeah, it won't be as tight as the top bit, but once we tighten this down after going around, you can see how close it is. Right, and we are done. So now we take our tag end. Hopefully, it's difficult to see actually. Oh, there we go, that's better. There we go. As you can see, we start pulling the tag end, and you hope it's not too tight. As you can see, it's pulling through, pulling through, pulling through, pulling through. You're going to pull that through until this end is all the way through and underneath. You can, nice and tight. Hopefully you saw that. So all you've done is you're left with a tag end there, tag end there, and you cut them off as we've done before. So this is going up that way, so we are going to go away. Perfect. Don't even need to use a light on that. Same thing that side, done. That one's got a bit of a tag end on, as you can see just there, but we can use a little flame to make sure that doesn't come undone, but it shouldn't, or get in the way. The other thing you can do is use a little bit of super glue as well. I do that sometimes on these just to hold them in place, but I usually use the super glue for where I do the knocking points. And we'll do the knocking points on our string once we've put our arrows together, which will be the next thing we do. So that is our string now fully done. I'll bring it back up, apart from the knocking points, of course. So go back. So one string, so on there all the way along, nice brace height. And if this does stretch and the brace height gets less, yeah, all you need to do, a few more twists in the string, keep it at the brace height. If I want to reduce the brace height, take a few twists out. It'll all come down to when we start shooting the bow and what we feel the bow is doing. If it's noisy, yeah, we can increase or decrease the brace height, and that will change the sound of the bow as well. So at the moment, the point we're at is riser with the rest on, with the button on, with the sight block on, ready to put the sight in. Limbs are in, string is on, string is served at both ends quite happily. String is served in the middle now as well. So we are now ready to get our arrows together, and then we can start setting the knocking point, setting center shot, and setting the arrow rest to the right position where we want it. So I hope you've enjoyed how to make a string my way. This is my way. This isn't the correct way. It isn't the incorrect way. This is the way I do it. There are different ways of doing it, and there's different ways of serving as well. So have a look on YouTube. There's lots out there, but this is what I do and I find the easiest. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you when we start on the arrows. See you later. Just a quick one, forgot to say, if you did enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe and share with your friends. And hope to see you back here on the next video. See you later.